Rob, in terms of, I want to talk a little bit about adaptability. We spoke about your personal sort of journey, transitioning, how you've changed and how you adapted with some reflection and some of those observations, what has worked and what's working for you now. I want to talk a little bit about your tenure at PTP in terms of, particularly recently, because you've been at the forefront of a management buyout within your organisation. It's an organisation that's got a long history within the region. Its transition has changed. It's changed from its previous sort of makeup of the chamber. We've talked about that many times in the past as well, and we speak about that regularly in terms of the tail wagging the dog and those sort of analogies, and how that transition, how that was more fit for purpose in terms of the employer makeup and some of the freedoms that you needed as a provider to make it more fit for purpose with these employers and make the offer right and suitable. And then in the last last 5 years, you've gone through a period where there's been change in that organisation. So I want you to tell that sort of journey from your own words in terms of that change, and bring us in terms of the insights that you're comfortable sharing.
Absolutely. So yes, we were owned by a Chamber of Commerce, and that's where representation was very, very important. And I had a very supportive board. But ultimately, if you're not the owner, you can still be managing a business with one hand tied behind your back, which can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. We were approached. There is a history of organisations approaching the board to take control of PTP or purchase PTP, and I was very fortunate that I had a board that would say, "It's your call, Rob. If you think this is the right thing for PTP and your management team, then we'll support it. If you don't, as you were." And we just got to the stage where we felt to compete with colleges and nationals, we needed significant investment, which I unashamedly say that the Chamber weren't in a position to do that. So we were approached by the BCTG group with a plan for investment. BCTG were a national organisation, and the owner at the time was very honest about, historically there'd been a subcontractor and they were moving into a delivery mode, and they would see PTP and the brand to support the move from subcontracting to delivery. Couple of weeks before we actually joined the BCTG group, COVID struck.
Yeah.
And we went into lockdown.
Yeah.
Although for some of us, including myself, we kept one of our centres open. So I never actually went through the working from home, apart from a few days, because I felt it was unfair to say to some of our staff, "Can you go into work and open up and deal with the health risks," if I wasn't going to go into the centre. So we kept the Walsall Centre open. A lot of our strategic thinking and communication was online or by phone. And essentially I think COVID changed the mind of some of the leadership in BCTG.
Yeah.
No right or wrong. And we kind of went in slightly different directions. In 2023, PTP had an Ofsted inspection, which we're really proud of, which was good and outstanding. BCTG had a more difficult inspection in June, which regrettably for them was inadequate, and that just gave us the opportunity to take control of PTP, to manage it with both our hands. So the business moved across with a management buyout to myself and Carolyn Stokes. And that was a very challenging period for us. I think it was quite challenging for staff as well. But the critical thing for me was a lot of the stakeholders, partners, funding bodies were incredibly supportive to us. That was very important. Our staff were incredibly supportive and worked incredibly hard. And in July of last year, the organisation transferred across to myself legally. And we went back to board that with people, key people that we've known over many years. People like Ian Smith, who was a regional Ofsted inspector, Kevin Davis, and some other people that we felt could support and challenge, and felt quite comfortable and quite knowledgeable enough not to have a meeting that was all cups of teas and nice and how are things going, but to really digest the reports, the very honest reports that we put in, because I want to be completely outstanding by the next time we have an Ofsted inspection, and for us to be outstanding we need to be challenged substantially, and I believe that the people we've got round the table reflect the makeup of our learners, understand the sector, and are quite comfortable to challenge us in the right way. Challenge and support are critical. I think organisations went through a period of saying you must challenge and do a bit of support. We like to say support and challenge. So support and appropriate challenge to help us improve, because if we're improving, we're doing a better job and our customers get a better deal, and that impacts on our legacy, and legacy is very important to us.
Canny Conversation Podcast Series 5 by Safaraz Ali.